Hello, chess lovers around the world. Today we're gonna talk about the game happened in round number 17 between Super Grandmaster Arjun Erigaisi of India once again battled with Hikaru Nakamura, Super Grandmaster of USA. For me, this is the nerve of the championship. Why? Because Erigaisi is the leading after round number 16 while Nakamura is on the second spot. Of course, Hikaru wants to snatch the championship while Erigaisi wants to maintain his lead until he gets the champion. At the end of this video, I will show you the final standing. Okay, let's get started. Erigaisi played d4, Naka played knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, then bishop b4. We have the Nimzo-Indian defense battle on the board. And then now Erigaisi chose the rare line of this Nimzo-Indian with f3, the much variation, intends ideally to play e4 and to control massively the center. Then now Nakamura applies the immediate pressure towards to destroy the center. And then now simply d5 to maintain the solidity, and then castles, then e4 to strengthen the d5, and surprisingly, Nakamura applies the Benko ideal sacrifice gambit, the b5. So normally in Benko, the b7 pushes to b5 to offer an exchange or sacrifice in order to, for example, c takes b5, then another exchange with a6, b takes a6, then bishop takes a6. The main idea behind the sacrifice pawn leads to a huge advantage when it comes to developments favorable for black. Alright? So that's the main idea of the Benko gambit sacrifice b5 pawn. But here, Erigaisi simply played e5 to attack the knight, and Nakamura runs away with knight e8 and f4 to maintain the solid structure of the center, and then e takes d5, c takes d5, and then now d6 to destroy the e5, and Erigaisi simply played knight f3 to develop the king side, to maintain the center. And here we have a question, why not bishop takes b5 or the free pawn on b5? Then black could simply take the pawn on e5, then let's say f takes e5, then we have knight c7, attacking the d5 as well as attacking the bishop. And if bishop c4, then bishop takes, capture, and yeah, there we go. We have a trap there with queen h4 check, winning the bishop. Alright, king f1, then capture the bishop. Okay, so that's quite dangerous to accept the pawn on b5. That's why Erigaisi chose to play knight f3 and then c4 for not allowing the white to capture the b5 pawn, and a4 to destroy the b5 and to get the c4 pawn easily. And then now knight d7 to add some additional pressure on e5 pawn, a takes b5, d takes e5, and bishop takes c4 was played. Why? Why not f takes e5? Because unexpectedly, black has knight takes e5, a mind-blowing sacrifice here. And if you accept the sacrifice, then we have queen h4 check. Then for example, white plays a g3 here, then queen e4 check. Very sad for white. Okay, winning the rook there. So the knight is not able to take the queen because of the pin. And for example, if white plays king e2 here, then knight f6, then rook e8 is coming to attack the knight and towards the king at the center of the board. So it's quite very dangerous for the white. Okay? And let's say king d2, then simply queen d4 check, king c2, and bishop f5. Horrible position for white could come. Let's go back. That's why Erigaisi captured the c4 pawn first, and then knight d6 to develop with tempo attack. Now bishop e2, then e takes f4, and then castles. Then now bishop b7. It says bad move in this position, because better was g5 according to Stockfish to maintain the f4 pawn. Okay? So, but then it looks like annoying for the human eye, because this pawn belongs to the front of the king or shield of the king. Then you commit something like g5. So it looks like dangerous for black. But then when it comes to accuracy, g5 is very solid move. Accurate move. Okay? To protect the f4 pawn simply. Alright, let's go back. But then Here, Nakamura played bishop b7, bishop takes f4, and then knight f6, attacking the pawn on d5. Now bishop d3 was played by Erigaisi, and it says bad move in this position. So here, better was queen d4, according to strong computer engine, to attack the bishop and to force the exchange, the bishop to the knight, and b takes c3, knight takes d5, capture, capture, and then c4. It looks like winning a piece for white, but then after queen e7, so black has a very good counterplay. Then rook fe1 to protect the bishop, knight c7, then simply offering an exchange of queens and let's say accepting the exchange with queen takes, knight takes, and it becomes very favorable for white. Why? Due to the very strong pawn structure in the queen side, and it becomes sooner or later can produce a very strong pass pawn in the queen side. Favorable for white indeed. Alright, so let's go back with bishop d3, where Erigaisi was played. And now, Nakamura took the knight, captured the knight takes d5, bishop d2 to protect the pawn on c3, rook c8, doubling the attack, queen c2, doubling the defense at the same time with the attack towards the h7, and Nakamura simply move away with h6, and then now c4 to prevent the coming knight b4. Because in this position, if white allows the jump of knight b4 and to get the double attack, so it's very dangerous for white to eliminate the light squared bishop, which is the strong minor piece in this position. So now c4, so black is not able to jump with a b4 square because of the bishop. Now queen b6 check, king h1, and knight e3, forcing the exchange, capture, capture, rook a e1, then queen c5, keeping an eye on the weak c4 pawn as well as the b5 pawn, and then now knight e5. All right, centralizing the knight there, threatening knight d7, fork, double attack, and obviously black has to move his rook somewhere with rook e8, and then queen b2, protecting the knight on e5, and rook c7, planning to play rook c to e7 with a very strong battery, and then now knight g4, offers an exchange with rooks, then rook c e7, maintains the control along the e-file, rook takes, and Erigaisi commits a blunderacious move, h3, double question mark. Why? So here, it says that queen f2 was better, then queen c7, and then now queen g3. Yeah, threatening knight takes h6 check, or even knight f6 check. Yeah, so it brings a brightful future for the white's position. Okay, let's go back with h3. Then now h5. Nakamura simply attacks the knight on g4. Then now queen f2 offers an exchange. Then queen g5. Now knight h2. Rook e3. Very strong attack by Nakamura. Look at the evaluation bar. So truly decisive advantage for Naka's side. Alright, time check. 24 seconds for Erigaisi at this moment, where in Nakamura's side, 20 seconds. So 4 seconds advantage, but then it's quite very tiny advantage for time. And now h4, attacking the queen there, and queen e5. Now rook d1 to protect simply the bishop on d3. And unexpectedly, Nakamura played knight e4, blunderacious move, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Here, better was rook g3, according to Stockfish. Threatening rook takes g2, bishop takes g2, and like for example, bishop f1 to protect the pawn. Then black has the very strong move, rook h3, threatening machas. So white is not able to take the rook because of the strong pin. And here, queen g1 has to play to defend the knight. And now bishop e4. So everything is under control by the black pieces. Then now to follows with knight f5, knight g3, mate by knight, machas by knight. Okay, it's quite very dangerous for white. Okay, but then let's go back. Nakamura played knight e4. He sacrifices the rook on e3, but then Erigaisi chose the right one. Bishop takes knight. Why? Because if white will take the rook here, then simply knight g3 check with discovered attack, and white has to take the knight, capture, then bishop f1, then let's say queen takes h4. So it's very easy for black to convert into a very winning position. So let's say c5 here, then queen e7, then c6, then simply bishop c8. The forces are not enough for white to push through in this position. Okay, so look at the evaluation bar. Truly decisive advantage for black. Let's go back. But then Erigaisi chose the right one with bishop takes knight, then queen takes e4, and knight f3, of course, to block the very strong diagonal. Then f6 was played, and it says bad move in this position. Better was, according to Strong Computer Engine, black has to take the knight immediately in this position. Why? So like for example, if white will simply capture the rook, sacrifice, then capture, king g1, and winning the rook on d1. Okay, as simple as that. But then, so white needs to check on d8 to gain tempo and to avoid the coming double attack. Then king h7, g takes f3, then black is simply to take the pawn on c4, and it says equal in this position. All right, so equal. Because white has numerous bad pawns, weak pawns on the board. And where white has the very strong diagonal there. Okay, so I don't think so that the white rook can able to use efficiently in this position. Okay, let's go back. But then Nakamura played f6 and queen g3. Okay, so another bad move by Erigaisi. Better was c5, intending to play c6. Okay, to progress the strong pass pawn on the c file. All right, so let's go back with queen g3, then queen e7, now rook f1, rook e4, and c5. Now at this moment, this move was a bad move. And then bishop d5 was played, another bad move. According to computer, black can simply capture the pawn, and if queen b8 check, there's no way to get the bishop because of queen c8, protecting the bishop at the same time. Then let's say queen takes a7, then rook b4. To get the pawn on b5 is the next target. Okay, so let's go back. Very complicated indeed in this position. But then Nakamura played bishop d5, and now Erigaisi allows to play c6, then rook c4, another bad move, and now rook e1 attacks the queen, then queen d8, blunderacious. Yeah, in this position, better was queen c5. Okay, threatening queen takes b5. Yeah, something like that. But then queen d8 was played. Now rook d1. Very strong pin. Under pressure now, the bishop on d5. Now rook c5 to protect the bishop. But then queen f2 was played. Another blunderacious. So here, better was queen g6. Why? Let's say rook takes b5, then we have c7 on the board. And if queen takes c7, simply wins the rook on b5 with double attack, king h7, and let's say queen takes h5 first, king g8, queen e8 check, and king h7, then queen takes b5, wins the game. Okay, so let's go back. Too much complicated position arise on the board. Now, but then Erigaisi missed the queen g6 move, and he went queen f2 instead. Now rook takes b5 and knight d4, another blunderacious move. And let's check the time at this moment. 7 seconds only left in Erigaisi's side. So here, better was queen takes c7, still winning for white. Okay, but then he played knight d4. Now bishop takes c6. A brilliant move by Nakamura. Okay, brings more breath and life and blood in his position. Why? White is not able to take the bishop on c6 because of the pin. And now Erigaisi changed his mind with rook c1. Now bishop e8. Then he captures the bishop. So he gains material advantage here. Queen takes a7. But then, slightly better for white. And because of 2 pawns against 3 pawns, this is very hard for white to squeeze the black's position. Now, bishop e2 was played. The last blunder on the board. Okay, can you please guess the last shot of Erigaisi where Nakamura forced to resign? I'll give you a couple of seconds and we will continue the game. Start. Congratulations. And you found this move. Queen a2 check. Resigns. All right. So maybe due to time trouble, it's only 4 seconds left to Nakamura before he played this bishop e2. So here, better was king h7 first. Then, yeah, bishop e2 with the idea of bishop g4. Nakamura wants to save his bishop as well as his pawn on h5 stick together. So ideally, put the bishop transferring to g4 square. That's the main idea of Nakamura. Alright, thank you very much. And this is the final standing. Erigaisi is the champion of the Blitz section. And with the 12.5 points, where Nakamura gathered 11.5 points, Mamedyarov with 9.5 points, tied with 9 points between Magsudlu and Vidit, and Pragdananda with 8.5 points, Nihal Sarin and Wesley So with 8 points, Abdusattorov, the World Rapid Champion, only gathered with 7.5 points, and Gukesh at the list of the 10-man field with 6.5 points. Alright, thank you very much for watching this video and I hope you learned from it. And if you haven't subscribed yet in my YouTube channel, in this English channel, please do subscribe and click the notification bell all to let you notify when it comes to streaming and new uploads of my future videos. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.